Hello everyone and welcome back to The Comfort Zone. Today we have a bit of a juicy episode. I'm actually really excited to get into it because I think before we both got into creating content full time, this would have been like so interesting to us because I still find it really interesting when I learn new things about the secrets of the influencer industry.
People keep it so under wraps. I feel like it's, even we're not in it, it's like a secret little community where people know all of these hacks and all of these, I don't know, just how it works, and I still don't know.
Yeah, and then you find out new things and you're like, oh my gosh, now everything makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we want to expose some of that today. Not to like hate on anyone or hate on the industry, because obviously we do both create content every day.
Yeah, that's our jobs. But it's also funny that you believe things for so long and then you find out after a few months that it was all a lie.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that I think people don't realise when they're following influencers. And I mean, people might call us influencers. I don't microphone things like not on you.
I'm a professional influencer, can you not tell?
There's like a massive hair on it as well.
I wouldn't class us as influencers, to be honest.
No, I agree. I think we're content creators and we're motivated by helping people, changing people's mindsets, things like that, rather than it being all about selling things, which is what, to me, defines being an influencer versus content creator.
Agreed. We were even speaking about this earlier because we were both editing posts to post on Instagram, and we like to tell stories for our content, I feel, rather than like hauls or I don't know.
Although I do enjoy watching that content, so sometimes I feel like it could be fun
to make.
But
don't put yourself in a box.
No, I don't want to put myself in a box. Yeah. But also, when we're saying we don't consider ourselves influencers, that might seem a bit weird. But yeah, just what we mean is like, I think there's an image tied to being an influencer, which is very like superficial and like you're just trying to sell makeup or clothes all day. Whereas the content creators that I like to follow, maybe they do a bit of that. Yeah. But they also have a kind of purpose with their content and they want to make change or they want to bring joy to people's lives and stuff. And I'm not saying that you can't do that as an influencer, but in my mind, there's a difference.
No, it makes sense. We like to be creative in a lot of our content and make it more cinematic. Is that the right word? Just like tell a story, tell a narrative, like have people go through a journey when they're watching our content and always leave feeling happy and like a little bit more positive about their day. So yeah, I would say that that's where we class ourselves. Yeah. You can be anything you want to be.
The world is your oyster.
It is, and it's so tricky. I mean, it really just is a tricky subject in general, but we'll break it down.
I don't understand the phrase, the world is your oyster. What does that mean? Like, what is an oyster?
Good question. Is that fish, like a clam?
The slimy thing that you eat?
Where you're not even meant to chew it, you just like swallow it whole.
So why is that a positive quote?
I think it's because you...
The world is a slimy fish for you to swallow whole. Quote of the day.
I think it's because when you open it, it's like a whole world in this like shell. I made that up. I don't know. I don't like oysters. I don't like fish.
I like some fish. That's not the point of the episode. No. I was about to be like, I like mussels, but I don't.
I like calamari. That's the only fish I like.
Calamari is up there with one of my favourite foods of all time. And on that note, something completely unrelated, wins and wobbles, because we're going to tangent until we forget.
Yeah, I feel like we're quite passionate about this, so we just dove straight into it. Yeah. So, wobble. I have spoken about this online a little bit, but if you don't know, I wouldn't call it a problem so much as an addiction maybe to picking my skin. I pick my face a lot. Honestly, every other night I'll sit in front of the mirror for like an hour. I'll have my torch on. I'll be all up in there trying to squeeze out spots that you probably wouldn't even be able to see with the naked eye. I have a 15 times magnifying mirror, which I should honestly probably get rid of because it's doing me more harm than good. No one's looking at me through a magnifying glass, but for some reason I think I just need to squeeze out every little dot on my face, and it probably makes my skin 100 times worse. But you know, that's what I do. But instead of doing that at the moment, I've been picking around my fingers, just instead of my face. And it's not good for me because I look at my fingers now and there's just, you know, the hangnails, they're so painful. Like, they're actually really painful when I do pick them, but I just can't help it. I always have to be doing something with my hands.
Have you considered getting like a fidget ring?
No, but that's genius.
You can get rings that have like a little ball or something on them that you just sort of flick with your finger when you're wanting to pick stuff.
Would that be as satisfying though? Like, I get satisfaction about the piece of skin coming off or like the spot coming out. So I don't know if that would work. Yeah. It helps if I have acrylics on because then I physically can't pick it because the acrylics are too thick. So maybe I just need to get my nails done. That's a good excuse to get my nails done.
Go get your nails done. There we go.
Yeah, but I have been doing that and I want to stop but I don't know how. I've honestly been picking my skin for as long as I can remember. 8-10 years.
When you look in those magnifying mirrors, you see all these things that you would never have noticed before, and they're literally not noticeable at all. Like, there'll be tiny little blackheads in some random part of your face which you've never seen before, and you do not need to be picking it.
Exactly.
But then the second you see it's there, you want to get rid of it. I think get rid of the mirror, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just like been a realisation that I've just come to here. Why haven't I just got rid of it? I'm self-sabotaging by keeping it there. So keep me accountable for next week, guys.
Yeah, smash the mirror up.
Smash it. That'll be quite satisfying. That'll give me 7 years bad luck, though.
Okay, superstitious.
I don't want to do that.
Maybe just bin it.
Yeah.
But if you put it in the bin, and then the bin men throw it, and it smashes, do they get bad luck?
I don't know. Does it have to be your mirror?
Anyone know the answers?
That actually made me want to That actually made me want to. Sorry. That actually made me want to dive into our superstitions.
Oh.
Quickly. Should we do a little 10-second?
The weirdest tangent ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, superstitions.
One that we both have is magpies.
I'm always saluting at magpies, and people think it's so weird.
Oh, do you salute at every magpie you see, or only if it's one? I only salute if it's one. If it's two, I don't salute.
No, I salute if I see any magpies.
Oh, see, that's where I don't.
Morning, Mr. Magpie, how's your wife?
No, mine's one for sorrow, two for joy.
Yeah, but you salute them so that stuff doesn't come true.
Exactly, so why would you salute two? Because then you cancel out the joy. So you salute one, and then you don't salute two.
Oh no, I just salute them out of respect.
Okay.
To the magpies.
I rate that.
And then you just like whatever. My mum actually saw three for a girl? However many it is for a girl, she saw on the way to the hospital to having me. How crazy is that?
No way.
Yeah, and that my parents didn't find out the gender, so they didn't know what I was going to be.
That's just made it so much more real.
Yeah, and then I was a little girly pop, but then sometimes I don't like believing in it because if I see one magpie, I get really panicky because it's like one for sorrow. I'm like, what's going to happen?
I need to salute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't, like, so many people don't do that. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, saluting the magpie.
I posted a TikTok on it ages ago and it got like 10 views, so I deleted it because I got really embarrassed. I was like, no one knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, every time I see a magpie. I've got 2 videos of my phone where I see one and I'm like, salute. Because I want to build a collection to make sure people like, well, not to make sure, but to see if people relate.
Yeah, make sure everyone's saluting the magpies.
Yes. Don't disrespect.
3 drains.
Yeah, I used to do this one. I've kind of stopped now because it's a bit awkward. Like, if you literally have to step on 3 drains, I can't stop in the middle of the road.
Yeah, and then you end up really panicky if you don't do it, yeah.
Yeah, so I have stopped that one a little bit, but agreed. Oh, just hit the mic.
Agreed. I don't know if I have...
Walking underneath signs. You know, like the
ones
I
don't care about that.
No,
like,
I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Well, if I see it, I'll try and avoid it, but is what it is.
And walking under like ladders and stuff. Like, when do you ever walk under a ladder? Really?
Yeah.
Like, I just wouldn't do that because it's kind of just dangerous for the. Like, if I hit the ladder and then the person goes flying off it, like that one's I feel like those are the only things I'm superstitious about.
Yeah, I was trying to think of other ones. I don't think there's any more. Okay, we hope you enjoyed that. Let us know your superstitions below.
I also do want to say that like they don't actually mean anything. You cannot control the outcome of anything by looking at a magpie.
Yeah, that's true. It's just a funny thing that we've built in our heads.
Yeah, and I'd be interested to know if the magpie thing is a British thing.
Ooh,
because like, morning, Mr. Magpie.
Probably because I can't think of America having magpies as well. It's like Americans having pigeons. Do they have pigeons?
Yeah. Does America have? Oh, yeah, they're the eagle. That's the whole thing. They have like
like in the streets.
No, they don't have eagles like in the streets, but don't they have like
that's the bird.
Yeah, they're like bird of America. It's like an eagle.
So the bird of England is a pigeon.
It's a pigeon.
What is the bird of England?
Definitely, it probably is a pigeon. Maybe like an owl.
No.
Hedwig. You don't even know who that is.
I know that's from Harry Potter, and I'm.
Oh, you're such a hater. How did we get from your wobble to talking about the bird of England?
I don't know.
Do we even? I don't think we have a national bird.
I will clarify.
If we
you
do,
will clarify when you edit.
If we do, it's a pigeon for sure.
Yeah, or like a woodpecker.
When do you ever see woodpeckers? Yeah, but anyway, back to America. I can't imagine. To me, America is like Simpsons. Like, I just don't. I can't imagine that it's actually a real place because I've never been.
Yeah.
So
I have actually been to New York, which is weird because
did they not have pigeons there?
I don't think so. No, I feel like they did. I feel like New York's quite dirty. No,
I've heard
New
that.
York.
No, I've heard that the subways like there's like rats and just people like peeing and stuff.
I can't really remember it. I've kind of blocked it out, to be honest, but not on purpose. It wasn't bad.
It was that dirty. It was just traumatic.
I was just a child, so well, not a child. I was 16, 17.
That's kind of a child.
Yeah. When did you stop being a child? 18
legally.
Interesting. That's 21 in some places.
The bird of England comes and gives you your rights to be an adult.
What a scroll.
Only if you salute him 3 times. True story, guys. If you're not from England, trust us.
I remember that on my 18th birthday.
Yeah, when he swooped down, yeah. He said, "Morning, love." Okay, this is getting really weird now, and we've done one wobble.
It's your turn.
It's my turn for a wobble. Felt like a bit of a come down after that.
No.
Well, my wobble's actually really deep.
Oh.
And this was what I decided I wasn't going to say last week.
Okay.
But I feel like this week...
You're ready.
I mean, we did a whole episode about EMDR, like, people... It just feels a bit weird sometimes talking about it. But I had therapy. It was actually last week that I had therapy and started talking about trauma stuff again. And then this week kind of did the same thing. And I feel like it's just made me really sad because I have kind of been feeling a little bit down and in a place of like, what if I never know what it's like to not have that in my head? Because trauma's so like, you can't control when it comes in, you can't control when you think about it. Like it just pops in and I'm like, what if I never manage to work through that? And I'm not usually like that. I'm always like, I can get through this and I will get through this. And I do know that I will. I know that I am fine and I will be fine. But I think there's just something kind of a bit crushing about knowing that you've been through trauma, because it's kind of like, I don't know, sometimes the realization hits you, and I think that's what I've been having over the past couple of weeks, this realization of like, I've been through really bad stuff and I'm never gonna remember that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just a bit depressing, and I think I've just been, I don't want to like dwell on it, but I've also been trying to talk about it in therapy, so it's kind of been more present. Other things have made things become more present. I feel like I've just been a little bit like, like this really sucks.
Is it like another wave? Do you go through moments where it's really, really good and then it comes out of nowhere and just...
Yeah, I feel like I do in terms of being like, my life, like I have such a great life and everything's fine, and then I'm like, it hits me again, but it also is in my head every single day. Yeah. So I don't know, it's kind of hard. But yeah, I'd say my wobble is a little bit of a depressing one, but just being honest, that is probably the main thing that I've been struggling with in the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
It's just that, and I'm sure people who have PTSD or trauma or whatever will understand the feeling of like, I can't go through that, and that sucks. And it's like a little bit of grief almost for the person you were before that happened. It's all a bit rubbish, but it's fine.
You say it's fine, all of that, but it's fine. Just brush it off. No, you're okay to feel like this. It's okay for you to go through ups and downs, and I guess there's comfort in knowing that you have got through everything that you've gone through before, so you can do it again. But I guess just in the moment it doesn't feel like that, maybe. Or yeah. But
this is why we do wins and wobbles.
Yeah.
It's so that we can acknowledge that there are these bad times and these things that we struggle with, but there's also the wins and the things that make life good and the things that are worth celebrating. And when I think about my win, I'm like, oh my gosh, how amazing.
Yeah.
Life is so great. And then when I think about my wobble, I'm like, it's just the duality of feeling deeply.
And that's magical.
In its own way.
Yeah. It's important for us to share that you don't go through something and then it's all just sunshine and rainbows forever as well. Like sometimes when I think about the stuff that I share, I feel like it comes across as I've gone through this one hard thing and now I wake up every day and just am this big bundle of joy and I never have a sad moment. I never get insecure, but that's not true.
I worry about that too. I worry sometimes that I post a reel and because it's so like flip from one to the other, to get the point across, to get the point of like you can recover across, I worry that it makes it seem like, other people might still be struggling. And that's wrong because I'm not. Like, I definitely do still struggle. I don't struggle with my eating. Yeah. Which is, that is true, obviously. But with the whole, like, exposure therapy stuff, it's not like I did trauma therapy or did exposure therapy and just got fixed. And now I'm, like, so chill and fine. But it's quite hard to portray that in an Instagram reel whilst
it's 10 seconds long.
Yeah, and you also want to keep it hopeful. Like, I don't want to be, like... Because life is so much better. I don't want to be posting, like, oh, actually... everything sucks.
But then it's important to talk about it sometimes because some people might feel like they've failed if they do take a step back, but you have to sometimes take a step back to take 2 steps forward. So you haven't failed. You're just going through a little bit of a wobble. Yeah. And you'll come out the other side.
Always.
I believe in you.
I believe in me too, so thank you.
You're very welcome. And you've been in such a good mood today, so I'm really happy.
Guys, the sun's out.
That's my win. Don't claim it.
Oh, I'm sorry. You go with your win, and I'm going to chirp in. Ooh, I'm a poet.
You're so excited about the blue skies. Oh, it feels like spring and summer is on its way and I'm so happy.
I'm with you. Like, I'm so sick of winter. And I like the coziness before it gets to Christmas.
January blues.
Oh my gosh, they're so real.
Yeah.
It's been so slow.
Yeah. Just waking up and like actually being able to open the curtains and see the sun shining through. Mm-hmm. I'm instantly in a good mood. I'm instantly energized.
Makes me want to go to the beach and like have a picnic and run through a field.
Beach, each, let's go get away.
They say what they're gonna say.
Yeah, me too. I want to do that. I want to go watch the sunrise. You live near a beach.
Well, this is the thing about England. There are some places that are near water that are stunning, and then there's places that you would think would have beaches that just have like
sewage,
grungy sewage ports.
Yeah,
and that's where I live.
I used to live by like this river. It was like really secret. I feel like no one knew it was there. It was the River Thames. This river.
Guys, really underground, unheard of river.
But like on the outskirts of the River Thames. And it looked so pretty. But like if you actually were to get in the water, you would be seriously ill.
Yeah. There's all these issues going on actually in Hampshire at the moment with, I think it was the Tories dumping sewage into the water.
Nice.
And it happens all over the UK, I'm pretty sure. But yeah.
Yummy.
Don't want to go swimming in that.
No.
Anyway, your win is so valid before I start talking about sewage.
Yeah, it's just been blue skies, happy days, good moods, good vibes, positivity. I feel like everyone's feeling that at the moment as well. Every story I see is like, blue skies, I'm so happy.
I just absolutely love this weather, like, because it's cold enough to wear a jumper and I love dressing cozy and baggy, but the sun's out. And it's a little bit warm and the sky's crisp and blue and it just makes you want to do things and be alive.
This is when I really low-key want to leave the country.
Yeah. I'm like, get me to Australia.
I understand why everyone's going there.
Yeah.
But then I do love England at the same time. So.
Two of my best friends are moving there. And they went to Australia for like, I want to say they were there. They were there for like, I don't know what happened there. They were there for like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And they came back and they came back into just like the grey of winter and were like, what the hell are we doing living here when we have the opportunity to live in a country where you wake up every day and you don't feel like awful. Life is heavy on top of you.
Yeah.
And so they're moving. I respect it.
I respect that. I don't know if I could. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long way.
But also we have to live our lives, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not selfish to do that.
No, it's not selfish to pack up and move to Australia.
No, maybe. We'll see. I don't know. I think we're so used to the grey skies that I'm like, this is just normal, but it's actually not.
No, because you have the same reaction every year. Every year it feels, you kind of forget how awful it was last year.
Yeah, and you get to summer and you're like, wow, this is great. And then you forget what summer feels like in winter.
Yeah, or summer's rainy and it's like, great.
True.
I've looked forward to summer for a year and it's raining.
Yeah, that was last summer, wasn't it? Anyway, win.
Anyway, my win. Oh, I've actually had a really good win this week. So I don't cook very much now that I live with my parents because my mum loves cooking. She always cooks. I've always found cooking quite overwhelming. Not always. I did used to enjoy it more than I have recently, but I just got to a place where I was just finding cooking really overwhelming. Like there's too much going on, too much pressure. If there's anyone else around, it just feels stressful. But last week, when my parents were in Paris, I cooked 2 dinners.
Wow!
From scratch. I made chili mac and cheese and I made creamy beef tomato pasta.
Wow. Look at you go.
Honestly, first of all, they were so good.
I wish I could have tasted them and given you a unbiased opinion.
Okay.
No, I'm joking.
I need to tell them that when we were talking last week about chili mac and cheese, Jaycie thought that I was making mac and cheese and just putting some chili flakes on it and calling it like a new exciting dish.
As
if that would change the texture of mac and cheese at all.
That's why I said add some chorizo in there for like a little bit of something that wasn't pasta.
It's like chili con carne.
That makes sense.
Mixed with mac and cheese.
Do you know what? That also makes sense because you were like, I feel like that would be really rude to Mexicans to call it, I don't know what you said.
Chili mac and cheese?
Yeah.
You were like, why are Mexicans so upset about chili flakes?
I don't get it, but now it makes sense.
Yeah, well, anyway, I made that. It was
Delicious.
really good because it wasn't mac and cheese with chili flakes on it. It was a whole meal.
You've sent me the recipe, so I'm actually going to make it.
Yeah.
Although kidney beans kind of make me... I don't know why.
Just don't put them in then.
No, but then what would you put instead?
How would you make a normal chili?
I've never made a chili.
Oh. Maybe ease yourself in. Put chorizo in a chili.
Wait, how do you say it? Do I say it wrong?
No, you don't. You say it the way that everyone says it.
Oh,
so
you just say it right.
Because my dad has always been fluent in French.
Okay.
Not always. He didn't come out the womb fluent in French. But my whole life,
yeah,
he's been fluent in French.
Okay.
So he always says croissant, pain au chocolat.
Chorizo Spanish.
Chorizo Spanish, but he also knows Spanish.
Okay, sorry, I jumped to a conclusion and I was like, so I think French.
I know. So I think I've got it from him because he says chorizo.
That makes sense.
But like Spanish people, can you tell me if it's chorizo or chorizo? What did you say, chorizo or chorizo?
Chorizo.
I have heard people say chorizo.
No. Chorizo or chorizo. I don't know.
Chorizo. That's how it's written, right?
It's not even a word to me anymore now.
Chorizo.
We've said it so many times.
I'm going to Barcelona.
I'm
going to Barcelona. That was my win.
You've made two pasta dishes.
Made 2 pasta dishes.
Yum.
And I know that doesn't sound that crazy, but I actually enjoyed it.
Wow.
Like, I genuinely enjoy cooking, and I was thinking, I'm actually excited to cook again in the future, and that was the best feeling, because you know me.
Yeah, I don't remember when you've cooked ever. That's probably the first time you've ever cooked since I've known you.
Yeah, well, when I moved in with my ex, he would cook a lot.
Yeah.
And so I just never, I would never be able to cook something that was at a level of, good,
Yeah.
And I was vegetarian at the time, so everything kind of just was veggie. And also, I just didn't use much of anything. Not much of anything, but I didn't
seasoning.
I didn't put enough salt in. There wasn't enough oil and anything, because I was still I didn't really understand.
Yeah.
I was challenging myself, but I didn't really
know how
to make food taste nice.
Yeah.
So I just wouldn't really cook, and then I haven't really cooked properly since then.
Wow. It's going to be so fun when you learn how to cook again from scratch, for every single meal, from recipes.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you. It's a whole new journey.
I'm excited, yeah. So basically my win was cooking. Yay!
Oh, I'm so happy. Cooking is such a love language for me. It's so relaxing. Last night I had a bath, guys. I had a bath.
What?
Got on some fresh pyjamas. Went in the kitchen for an hour and made homemade burgers, homemade chips. Nice. Apparently it tasted like Five Guys. What can I say?
Wow, okay, chef.
Yeah, but it was just so much fun, and I can't wait for you to experience that.
You're a really good cook as well, so...
Thank you. Have I cooked for you properly?
Yeah.
What did I make? Meatballs.
Meatballs?
They were frozen meatballs. I made a good spag bol once.
You did make a good spag bol.
Thank you.
And you're always cooking.
I think what we've learnt from this is that you just love pasta.
I could eat pasta, honestly, all day, forever. Yesterday for lunch I had tuna... For breakfast...
You did not have pasta,
I didn't have pasta.
Okay, good.
For breakfast I think I had porridge.
Nice.
For lunch I had tuna and sweet corn pasta.
Nice.
For dinner I had sausage pasta.
Nice. What are you going to have for dinner tonight? Pasta. What did you have for dinner the night before?
Pasta. Yeah.
Did you?
Pasta.
And then the night before as well?
I had Chinese the night before that, I think.
Okay.
Mixed it up a bit. Went a bit crazy.
Out your comfort zone there.
Out my comfort zone. Had a Chinese.
Wow. I was going to say, if you came here to hear about the secrets of the influencer industry, and you've been here for a while, don't give up.
Yeah, we are getting onto that. Now, I guess.
Yeah, right now. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Tell me your biggest kept secret. Don't have any.
I airbrush and Photoshop every picture I've ever posted. True story.
I've never used Facetune, honestly, hand on heart, even when I was in school before I started doing Instagram.
I used it when I was in school.
Did you?
Yeah, I was really self-conscious of my acne. I was posting to
just your friends?
My friends.
Yeah.
So everyone was doing it.
Yeah.
But I would it would be really obvious as well, because the rest of my skin was normal texture, and then that bit would be
so smooth,
blurred. Yeah. But that was years and years and years ago, and I've ever since having any form of platform or even posting on the account I post on now, I've never face-tuned it.
No, it's so much effort, I feel. And I wouldn't be able to make it look right. It would just look like I was a cartoon.
I couldn't knowingly put out a false image.
That as well. Not that it's just hard work, but no, it's literally completely fake. And the fact that someone else might look at that and think that it's real breaks my heart.
Start comparing themselves to things that are so not real. It just upsets me.
Yeah, Facetune should be banned. I like that Instagram has now put an AI detected thing on it. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I hope it actually does work. But if people edit their pictures, I think it does come up with an AI thing. So look out for that if you have fallen for some Facetune and it makes you feel a little bit self-conscious. Yeah. But it's also really hard to tell. People do it so well.
Oh yeah, I've been with people while they've been editing their pictures, and big influencers do it. The people that I've seen do it haven't been self-love people.
Okay,
because that would really bother me.
Yeah, that would make me lose all trust in everything ever. Yeah.
But I do know of beauty influencers who I have watched blur and mattify their skin and
That also kind of makes me feel a bit funny, because beauty influencers are meant to promote beauty products that actually work.
Yeah.
So do you know that whole thing with the mascara, the girl that did the ad for mascara, and she applied the mascara, went away, put some false eyelashes on, came back and like carried on applying the mascara and was like, look what it's done to my lashes. And she was literally wearing fake lashes. And everyone knew.
Why would you even want to do that?
Yeah.
How can you feel okay with yourself doing that?
When you're literally just scamming everyone and you're just, I don't know, no one's ever going to trust you ever. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, it just actually doesn't make any sense.
No, I just remembered about that. That irritated me so much.
Yeah, I actually don't get the purpose of lying or editing your photo. If you edit your photos, right, when you get compliments on them, if someone said, oh my gosh, you're so stunning, surely that wouldn't even make you feel good, because you'd be like, well, I know that it's actually
not me,
it's my editing that's done that.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, like, I just feel like it doesn't actually serve any purpose, because it's not going to make you feel better.
No.
It's not going to make your audience feel good.
No.
It's just not helpful.
And, like, if it's to your friends as well, your friends know you don't look like that. So what, who, what, where, when, why?
That's what I think. When I was, like, 12 and I was scribbling out spots on my face, I'm like, okay, but everyone's already seen that you have that spot on your face at school. Yeah. So why do you need to pretend on Instagram that it doesn't exist?
Yeah. I just wish it never even was a thing to begin with. Imagine no one ever edited their photos from day one and everything was just real.
But it's been happening since magazines became a thing, since like modelling became a thing. It has always been a thing. And even to an extent, people use makeup to do it.
I guess, so in real life.
Yeah, it's probably always been a thing in some ways.
It's such a tricky one. If I really deep the fact that I wear makeup, I feel a bit like, I don't know why. Because like the whole point of makeup is necessarily to change your face, but in a way of enhancing the features. But I don't know, if I deep it really, I can't comprehend. I don't know.
I like wearing makeup, but then I think about the fact that I don't really enjoy the process of doing it, because it feels like effort to do. And then I think, why am I doing it?
Yeah.
But I do it because I do feel more confident.
Which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, it just, I don't know.
And there are people that do their makeup because they genuinely enjoy doing their makeup.
I do if I put effort into it. If I'm rushing it, then no. It also makes my skin feel nice for some reason. If I just have moisturiser on, my skin feels dirty by like 2 o'clock and I'm like, oh.
I know what you mean. Like, makeup makes my skin feel fresher, which makes no sense. That feels a bit backwards.
Anyway, I feel like I need to really think and unpack my issue with makeup sometimes. That'll be for another day.
Probably a lot of people have things to... A lot of women have things to think about with that, because women have been so conditioned to feel like they need to look put together and perfect, and they need to wear makeup, otherwise people tell you look tired or ill. Or,
like if you're in a workplace and you're not wearing makeup, it can be unprofessional. Why is that? Why can we not show up as our natural selves and it'd be fine? I
do feel like actually people have talked a lot about influencers using Photoshop, so we probably don't...
It's a known thing.
You
told me something the other day that blew my mind. The Canon cameras that everyone used.
The Canon G7X. I don't know if people will know what that is, but if you ever watched like Zoella, Alfie Days, that was the camera that all the vloggers were using back in the day. And I have that camera. And I realised, probably 2 years into using it, that if you film in portrait mode, it smooths your skin. And you usually would film in portrait mode, because if you're filming yourself, that's what you're going to film on.
Yeah.
But I had no idea that it was actually smoothing my skin. So even the camera, even if they're not doing anything to edit it afterwards, that camera has built-in smoothing features for your skin. So the vloggers you watch, even if they're doing like a morning get ready with me, their skin might literally be being smoothed by technology.
Wow.
And it might not even be their fault, but you would look at that and think, oh my gosh, their skin is just so smooth. It also does something to your hair, like smooths your hair or something.
Wow.
I don't know, but like...
Mind blown.
Yeah, it's crazy that that's a built-in feature to technology.
To just make us all feel worse about our real selves. It's quite sad, really.
Yeah.
Morning routines. That eye roll said it all.
I do feel like in some ways I have been guilty of it before.
Same. But I mean, you have to be. If you're going to film yourself getting out of bed, do you think the camera just magically gets to the end of your bed perfectly in the tripod, perfectly framed and centered?
Oh yeah, no.
You have to get up to put the tripod up to get back into bed to fake getting up and do like the big stretch.
Every time I see a clip of someone like running along when they run past their phone, in my head I can just picture them running back for their phone afterwards. And it really makes me laugh.
Oh, we were watching this guy that does like Arctic survival videos at the moment, and he drives away in his car like through the snow, and is obviously filming him driving away, and we just have to like imagine him reversing all the way back to like pick up his little camera. I don't know, it just made me chuckle.
So funny. No, the morning routines is real. I mean, every time I've ever done some form of a morning routine, I will have made it abundantly clear that is not my everyday. I don't think I've ever done a morning routine.
I don't think I've seen one from you.
No, but I feel like I've done
Maybe have you done them on like YouTube?
Maybe it was when I've been vlogging and I've been like, oh, this morning I got up, did X, Y, and Z, and I filmed it.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, people only have those morning routines because they want to film it for you.
Yeah, which is a win-lose situation, comme ci, comme ça. Because on one hand, it forces you to have this really nice morning routine that makes you feel really good about yourself and makes you feel productive and like that girl, which is great for some people. Like some people need that push and that accountability, but also it holds such false high standards for everyone watching it that physically can't do that have a 9 to 5, that can't wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and spend 3 hours getting ready and going to Pilates and having a coffee and morning shed and whatever.
Yeah. Like genuinely, when I've filmed my mornings when I've been vlogging, I have had a better morning than I usually would.
Yeah.
Because
you know that someone's going to watch it.
Yeah, and because you want it to be like an entertaining video or whatever.
Yeah.
And we are like the most realistic. Like we will film boring days, whatever. But even if you're setting the camera up to make your bed, because you know that that's a healthy habit for you, I might not make my bed every day, but you're seeing one video out of 7 days of my week and you're going to think that I do that every morning.
Yeah.
Everything is like that. And the other thing, this is a bit of a tangent, people who work a 9 to 5 are like the target audience of influencers content, because influencers aren't influencing to influencers. Oh my God. But influencers, their full-time job is filming for you. So they're selling you this life where they have all this time to go to the gym every day, to do Pilates, to clean their whole house. You don't have the same amount of hours free in your day to do that. And yet you will compare your life to these people because they make it look so easy, so put together. But their whole job is doing that. Their job is literally to go to the gym and to film it and post it. And obviously the filming and posting does take longer than it would seem, but they still have way more time and way more opportunity in their day to have this polished life, this gym routine, this clean house, than you will ever have if you're working a normal job or a 9 to 5. And I just think it sets this standard, which is just so unrealistic.
Completely agreed. I think if a person with a normal quote unquote job was to do everything that an influencer does, they would never sleep. They would have to wake up at 3 o'clock to do their whole morning routine, and they would have to go to bed at 11 p.m. to do the whole evening unwind. Gets on my nerves because it doesn't add up. And I mean, I've been a waitress for 3 years and I know how hard that is. Like I used to work 12-hour shifts. I used to wake up, all I had time to do in the morning was shower, get to work all day, get home at like 11 o'clock, make my lunch for the next day. That was a repeat cycle of my life. I think at that point I didn't really even consume Instagram that much because I couldn't, or it would be such a kick in the teeth because it feels unfair.
Yeah, I remember being a barista. A barista. But I was on my feet all day.
Yeah.
And when I got home, I would be so tired.
Yeah.
The expectation that I would then manage to have like a 5 to 9 where I would clean my whole house and go to the gym and then cook dinner and then...
It's just not happening.
I mean, good for you if you can do that. But I don't think most people who've just worked a full day of work would be able to do that.
No. Period.
Just saying.
On that note, influencers, it's their job to sell to the consumers, right? So it's their job to sell to the people that are scrolling. So they need products to sell to you. Where do you think they get these products from? They get them from the brands that want them to promote the products. It's a cycle, but it seems like influencers have so many expensive things and expensive products and these 10 million step skincare routines, and they get it all for free. They want you to spend your hard-earned money on things that they might not even 100% believe in. This is not for us, and this is not targeting anyone, but I just know it happens. I know people promote stuff that they don't use. I know people promote stuff that they don't fully believe in because that's how they get their money at the end of the day. But it can feel really disingenuous to someone scrolling because they can fall for that so easily, because it seems like someone loves something so much when they don't, and then they go out and fork out, I was meant to say, and fork out £50, £100 on this stuff that just
straight up doesn't work. Yeah. Do you know what gets me is acne influencers or people with actual skin issues. I don't know if it's just me. Like there is probably 1 or 2 brands. My routine kind of varies through lots of different brands. And I have a couple more expensive bits of skincare that I will use on occasion, but I won't use it every night.
Yeah.
I will use like my set routine every night. And some of it is more expensive, some of it's quite affordable. But I have acne prone skin. I have very sensitive skin. I have skin that needs consistency.
Yeah.
But I see so many skincare influencers whose target audience will literally be people suffering with their skin because, you know, that's why you would follow someone who was like a skin positivity account.
Yeah.
And they use like every single face cream or cleanser under the sun. And I'm like always just so confused as to how, A, are they using that and it's not breaking their skin out? Or B, do they not actually use it and they're selling it? And I don't know if it's just because my skin's really sensitive. There's 2 skincare influencers that I follow. Do you follow Natalie O'Neill? She's like the skincare queen of TikTok.
Yeah.
And also Life with Mills.
Yeah.
She's like the loveliest.
Yeah, she's so sweet.
But they both share products that they've literally looked into every single ingredient. It's like they know that this is going to be good for your skin. But then sometimes I see influencers who are using stuff that's like
something new every single day.
Literally something new every single week. And I'm like, if you have acne, surely that's not good for your skin.
Yeah.
Like, surely that's not helping.
And also, how do you have that much room to have 100 different products? Like, I use the same skincare every single, well, I say skincare, I mean moisturiser, every single night. When it runs out, I replace the one that I use because I know that it works. But if you've got a cupboard of 100 different products, 1, they're going to expire. 2, your skin isn't going to like using a new thing every day, like you've just said. 3, it's just so wasteful.
And everyone else like that you're selling to can't afford that.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, I get very passionate about this. If I was ever to work with a brand, I want to have used their product and to know that I genuinely back that product.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to work with a brand who's been like, we'll send you this, you pump out a video.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, guys. If you're listening right now, keep it hush hush. Shh. I've had emails before where I've said, can I try the product first at least? Probably not going to work with them, but just I want to like learn a little bit more about what's happening. So I've said, oh, can I try the product first? And they've literally said, no, we want you to sign the contract first just so that we know we're not going to lose out. Like, you're not going to say no down the line. And I'm like, I'm never going to promote something that I haven't used or tested or love.
No.
Like, you think that I'm just going to post about your whatever just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Like, it actually...
That's mad.
It gets under my skin.
It's mad that a brand would think that you would do that.
I would say yes.
Do they not look at your account and think like, oh, she's not the sort of person that's going to do this? But also, they must say that because people do that.
Yeah, because it's probably a bad product where people test it and go, actually, no, I don't want to work with you. This is a load of crap.
Yeah, but also, do you think that they say no because a lot of people will just say, okay, no worries, and just do it anyway? Because that's what I wonder about skincare influencers who use different products every other day. Have they actually had the time? Because they have so many products. Have they actually had the time to like give this a proper like 2-month test? Or
yeah, probably not.
Whatever. It's fair enough if it's like I'm having like a spa evening in or like something one off.
Yeah.
But if you're saying like this cleared my skin, have you actually had the time to test it?
And have you done a thorough test where you know it's not something else? Because you can use 3, 4, 5 different products. How do you know it's that specific one? It's so difficult because I feel so contradictory speaking about advertisements on social media, because obviously I do them and you do them as well, but we can honestly say hand on heart that we will only ever promote products that we truly use and believe in. So it is okay at the end of the day, but yeah, I don't know, I still get icky every time because I'm like, I don't want to force someone to spend their money.
Yeah, I don't want anyone to be feeling like they have to buy something. I always want it to be...
because they want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
I totally know what you mean, because I think ethically it's quite a difficult thing, because obviously, you know, it might not seem like it, but we need to make money to... I need to make money to get here.
Yeah.
We need to make money to, like...
have the time to film and have the time to edit. If we were working right now, we'd be at our desks right now, not being able to film.
And we wouldn't be able to create content which hopefully helps people and use our voices and everything. But at the same time, when you're doing a job that is so privileged and you know that, like, you are so lucky to have so much more flexible life. Your life is so much more flexible.
No, it's true. Yeah.
And both of us only work with brands that we love. But there's just something about putting something out and trying to get other people to buy it.
Yeah.
When you've been in a position of...
where you wanted to buy stuff but you couldn't afford it, or where you've been the one that's been sold to.
Yeah. It's like, even though we're literally doing nothing wrong, I do get what you mean. It can just feel a bit weird sometimes. But then we also don't need to feel like that, because we never do...
we never post about stuff that we don't believe in, so it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day I would probably post it organically anyway. Yeah. So it's just great that I can earn some money from it, because it's something that I would talk about anyway. I don't know,
the influencer industry is just so weird.
Yeah. No, go.
What were you going to say?
Listen to the last episode, hun.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
No, what I was going to... I can't even remember actually what I was going to say. What was I going to say? Just about feeling lucky, I think.
What was I going to say?
Oh, no.
There's something about... And I feel like I've probably put this on a caption because you want people... If people know that you're an influencer or a content creator or whatever, they will think that anytime you're posting about a product, it's a lie or like you're being paid to say it. So when you put like, oh, this isn't sponsored, by the way.
Yeah.
But sometimes people put like, not sponsored, this is just my genuine opinion. And I'm like, so does that mean that when it's sponsored, it's not your genuine opinion? Because I always notice that when people are like, this isn't an ad, by the way, I just genuinely love it. I'm like, so you're telling me you accept
stuff that you don't
with
genuinely
brands
love.
that you don't actually love.
Mind blown.
I just always think about that because if I say this isn't sponsored, it's because I want people to know that I'm like, look,
this is
you need
real.
to trust what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to say it's not sponsored if it is sponsored, obviously, but I am always going to believe in the product otherwise. The amount of stuff that both of us turned down, like I wish that we could share. We couldn't because we'd get into trouble, but...
Oh, can I actually not share? I turned down the other day, the razor, because I get razor burn. I think I've spoken about this before.
Didn't you speak about it in like the last...
Maybe.
But what was the one before?
Oh yeah, where I get chicken skin on my legs.
Chicken skin.
My legs just get covered in red little bumps every time I shave. It's happened with every razor I've used, to be fair, so it's probably a me problem.
I love razors.
Exactly, but I've had a bad experience with them. Well, not even bad. Like I said, every razor, but it just hasn't worked for me, so I'm like, sorry, I'm going to have to turn you down.
Yeah, I turned something down the other day and I genuinely cannot remember what the brand was right now.
I've got a bone to pick. This is kind of a tangent. Brands that claim to be sustainable but release things in 101 different colours and seasonal design packaging and...
Lol. Well, you know who you're talking about.
That just... Oh, sorry. That's a complete tangent, but it just gets under my skin a little bit because...
I think they might be the brand that I turned down the other day. No, you're saying that.
Yeah.
I got an email from...
Said brand.
I think it was them. And I literally replied and was like... I didn't reply to the brand. I wouldn't have been rude to them, but... Yeah. I said to my manager, I was like, that product is literally terrible, no.
Yeah. Another thing, which might be, well, not even controversial, I think it's just telling the truth. From my personal experience, influencers do not earn as much money as you think they do, at all. When I looked up to content creators, we've had this discussion before as well, it didn't make sense to me that people that could afford things got gifted stuff, and I had to pay for it. Tangent. But yeah, that never sat right with me because I was like, I'm the one sat here wanting to use this product and I cannot get it because I cannot afford it. Yeah, they have hundreds of millions of pounds and get everything for free. So it's like a win-win for them. Anyway, from my experience, they don't earn that amount of money. I don't know if some people do. They probably do earn hundreds of thousands of millions of pounds. It doesn't work like that.
Not for. I was about to say not if you have any integrity. And I know it sounds really bad.
No, but it's kind of true. If you accept everything, then obviously you're going to earn money.
Yeah.
If you accept things that you truly believe in, then you're not going to earn as much because you probably do 1-2 brand deals a month.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't mind saying this. Christmas is, or like Black Friday, Christmas is the busiest time for influencers. I probably worked with one brand.
I didn't work with a single brand for Black Friday or
and
Christmas.
That's where influencers are meant to earn the bulk amount of their money, which they're meant to live on for the rest of the year.
But do you know what part of the issue is?
What?
Brands don't think that talking about mental illness and mental health is brand friendly. Which is so funny. Like, genuinely, I probably, even though I have the same amount of followers as someone else who probably earns a lot of money, I won't get a lot of brand deals. Yeah. Because they won't want to associate with something as like harsh as talking about anorexia. It's like they like the palatable stuff. Yeah. Which is I will turn brands down as well for if they try to censor who I am or what I talk about in any way. I'm like, no. But I just think it's really interesting that brands will genuinely pick and choose who to work with based on how sort of palatable they are. Yeah. Because they think that it's going to affect their reputation. And I'm like, if you actually care about... Because when they do these mental health awareness campaigns, oh, but that's a bit too graphic, oh, but that's a bit... And it's like, so you want to raise awareness around mental health, or you want to act like you're a brand that cares about mental health,
but you don't want to actually talk about it.
You don't want to actually talk about anything more than, sometimes I feel a bit sad. Yeah. Well, you don't really care then, do you?
Well, Do you know a brand that doesn't do that? Just to be a little bit positive here. Dove. I love Dove. They're one of the first brands I actually properly worked with, and it was a whole campaign about self-esteem. I think it was literally called the Self-Esteem Project, but yeah, it was to do with disordered eating, and they were very happy for me to be vulnerable in it, which was really nice.
The stuff they've done is amazing.
Yeah, and they actually really do genuinely care. They did a campaign last year called The Face of 10, and it was all about how 10-year-olds are literally using anti-aging skincare because of social media. And I know this is real because my cousin is, well, she's 12 turning 13, but all she asked for Christmas for the past 2 years is skincare. I've literally got goosebumps right now because it makes me so angry.
It is absolutely crazy, because also these influencers that are, you know, willingly lying or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this is all influencers. Like, I really don't want this to come across as we're like bashing people. It's just but
part of the industry.
They are impacting really young people.
Yeah.
And they might not be putting any thought into what they're saying or doing.
Yeah.
But they are impacting people so much. Which also, another tangent.
Yeah.
And this is probably more to do with like TikTok.
Okay.
Why have we lost the meaning of trigger warning? Why is there never a trigger warning on anything anymore? And if it is, it's in the caption.
Which is too late.
It will be literally like the first picture on a slide of pictures will be like the most graphic like thing about abuse or about just something that they know would be triggering, because the caption is like trigger warning. And I'm like, so you knew it was triggering, but you immediately put it in people's faces. Like, if you are going to post something triggering, can we please have a slide before that it at least gives me a bit of warning? Like, if you're going to be talking about something graphic that you know people might have trauma around or is difficult for people to see or think about, like,
even then, this might be controversial, please enlighten me if it is. If you're going to post something that you've been triggered about in the past, surely you just wouldn't post that because you know how much it can affect someone else. Like, if you're putting it on the front cover, like, if you are going to be curious about it anyway, like if I see a black screen that says trigger warning, I would feel like I wanted to swipe because I just wanted to be nosy.
I mean, like, if someone's going to talk about, say it was abuse.
Okay.
I'd want like a trigger warning abuse so that I know if I'm trying to protect my triggers or whatever.
Yeah.
Know not to look at that.
Okay.
But I do agree with
there's a line where you should hold yourself accountable for what you're sharing, because if you know that it's triggering, then should you really be posting
especially around eating disorders.
Yeah.
Like, no one needs to see
your
the whole body of your like underweight body.
Yeah.
And you know that because you've put trigger warning. Like,
yeah.
There's a difference with being like, some people might find discussions of eating disorders triggering. Some people might find seeing my underweight face a little bit triggering. But when you're like trigger warning and then it's your whole body, like, you know that that's going to be fuel for comparison, like really difficult for people to see. Like, if you do have that awareness, it's difficult.
It is difficult.
That's a whole thing though.
That's a can of worms.
Because there's so many sides to it as well. It's like, when I was really unwell, I genuinely didn't know how I looked.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, I did not view myself the way I
actually was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if someone's like stepping away from the camera and like moving their body in a certain way that is literally a body check.
Yeah.
And there's no purpose to it apart from like a body check. And then they put like a trigger warning on it. It's like everything is pointing to the fact that you knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
So like, why are we doing that?
Yeah.
But then you do also have to have the like sort of nuance of like, the person's ill, like
they don't know what they're doing.
They might not know what they're doing. Their brain might not understand. But there's just so many sides to it, and it's so difficult because you don't want to be like, oh, that person's done something really bad, because it's like they're ill, but it's also like you need to think about
the consequences of your actions.
Yeah, and there's a lot of vulnerable people on the internet. Anyways,
that feels a bit heavy.
Yeah, that feels a bit too heavy, which is why I don't really want to go into it, because I also don't want to make anyone feel bad or attack anyone that's struggling and has, you know, like, everyone's done stuff online in real life
I didn't mean that in a harmful way. I just meant like it doesn't really kind of make sense to me. I'm just thinking out loud.
I don't think it's malicious or harmful at all. I think it's actually a really important thing to have a conversation about, because it is amazing that we are raising awareness about things. But there needs to be a level of like, is this going to cause competition? Are vulnerable people going to see this and struggle more because of it?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. On another note, I wanted to talk about people selling you gifted stuff, which we've kind of mentioned before, but buying stuff to post a picture in it and send it back.
I've heard that people are doing hauls and saying it'll be like a keep or return, and all this, like, most of the stuff they say they'll keep, they just return.
Anyway, because they just bought it for content.
That's actually crazy.
I feel like I actually have a lot of stuff to spill here, and I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble.
Do it.
So I went to, this was like not right at the beginning, but when I first started getting stuff from brands, I was invited to the, what's it called? The Room gifting suite.
Oh, that like pop-up.
Yeah, in London. I would not touch with the barge pole now. Obviously, I've learned a lot about the brand and a lot about the fact that they are very toxic. But I said yes naively, and I went along to this gifting suite. And they have a room there that is set up as a studio, And as I left, the girl, this is no hate obviously to the girl or the people working there, like she was so lovely, but she was like, if you ever want to come here and film a haul video, just let us know, we can get all the products ready for you. Yeah, so they're like, they would pick out the products for you, obviously for free. Like, you wouldn't have to spend your own money on them. You wouldn't have to keep them. They would keep them at the end of this video and take them back. But you can go there to film a haul video and then just walk away with nothing.
What?
Yeah.
That just seems bizarre.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to get in trouble. I don't know if they'd come for me. They probably got bigger things to worry about than coming for me, to be fair. But
no, like, that's...
Yeah.
It's just, it infuriates me because, A, it gives off this image of, like, overconsumption is really normal and everyone's spending loads of money and buying all these things and you should too.
Yeah.
When actually they're not.
They're not even spending their own money, no.
No, but they're going to make money off lying to you about buying things. Yeah. Like, that's just so weird.
It's weird how they've set up this whole scheme because they'll probably get commission from it. Or they'll, obviously you're going to buy products through the influencer's commission link. So they've set up this whole clever scheme to trick influencers into making these videos where at the end of the day they're just going to make the most money from it. It's like a cycle. They're tricking the influencer thinking like, this is a really cool opportunity for you. Then they're tricking the influencer's audience to buy this stuff. It's very clever. It's very conniving.
Also, with respect, you do just kind of, if you are the influencer, you do have a responsibility to like not
do that
to your audience. Like, just don't lie to them. Like, why would you want to do that? Like, I feel so connected to my audience. I know you do too. Like, I feel like I'm friends with my audience. I would never.
No.
Do you know what's really funny, right? People literally ask me what breed my dog is all the time. And if I ever get asked, I don't reply because I'm terrified that someone would get a cockapoo. And I adore Bee. I love her to bits, but I wouldn't recommend cockapoos as a breed of dog because anything with a doodle in it probably has anxiety or has behavioural issues. And I just don't want people to think, cute dog, let's get it. Because I've said, like, I won't even tell my audience what breed my dog is because I'm like...
You don't want someone to have a bad...
How, like, go and get a dog and it be my fault. Like, I actually do not understand how you can... Like,
lie.
Your audience are the reason that you have this platform. Your audience are the reason you have this life, this job.
Yeah.
How can you do that to people who are the reason that you have everything you have?
Yeah, you owe them trust and respect and truth.
Yeah.
So when I said, like, turn down the brand earlier, I was like, no, the only thing that matters to me is the fact that my audience trusts me in my opinion. I would never do anything to disrespect that and to break that trust. Like, at the end of the day, we have nothing without that.
Yeah.
So it just...
But also how upsetting to think that someone would spend their money on something that they really thought worked for you, that they really thought you loved, when you were just doing it to get money. Like, I cannot wrap my head around how people go about... I mean, at the end of the day, that is literally what businesses are doing, isn't it? Like, big companies who put out this advertising that's like, this £10 skin serum is going to reverse age you. Scientifically not possible.
How?
But they are literally doing that. They are selling people a dream and they don't have any shame about it. So I guess for influencers, it is just the same. But it makes me so upset that people won't see through that and will get, like, I think it's the excitement, like the idea that they will be excited about something and then be let down makes me want to curl up in a ball and cry. Like, I cannot cope with that.
Yeah, agreed.
I can't deal with it. It's like, it just feels like you're scamming people.
Yeah.
But it's not all influencers.
No, it's not all influencers.
I follow people that I absolutely adore and the people we're friends with.
Yeah.
Love them.
Yeah.
And they all are trying to do something good, even if it's spreading positivity and like inspiring people to change their life in certain ways or just like live more mindfully or whatever. Like, everyone I follow is using their platform for good in some form. So I like to think that this phase of influencing is dying out.
I completely agree. I think it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think the more we expose what it's like,
the more it dies out even more.
Yeah. The comfort zone takes on the influencer world. Brands need to realise it as well.
Yeah.
That you can't be selling your product with someone that doesn't use your product.
Yeah. And it's funny when brands tell you to say something as well that is not real, or they want you to get this fact in that is so like... it just feels uncomfortable for you to say, and it's going to come across like that to the audience if you say a script. It's just funny.
It's always really obvious as well when people do ads and it's like, and the 800 bing bong is actually the reason my life has changed.
Yeah, and you're like, no, instantly do not believe.
Yeah.
Last thing before we jump on to what's on your minds. I feel like there's two levels to creators, influencers. There's like the rich aspirational creator, and then there's the, I don't want to say more real because real is subjective, but the more relatable influencer.
A bit more down to earth.
Yeah. So it can be nice to have someone to look up to, and I don't know, there's so many influencers that just travel the world and are in a new country every week and have this wild handbag collection, and it's great. I still consume some of that content because I just think, wow, what a life, and like it's just cool to watch.
Yeah.
And there's a place for that, like if that's what you want to do, good for you. But there's also a level of relatability in content creators as well, which is comforting.
Yeah.
Don't know where I'm going with this point, but yeah.
No, I think we do just need to make it clear that it's not all people.
Yeah, and when I thought about influencers, I instantly thought that everything was travel and handbags and clothes, and it's not like that. It just is what it is.
Like, we both still live pretty normal lives. Like, the things to do with what we do for work is, some of that's like bizarre. Like, why am I on a red carpet? What's going on? But day to day, we are very normal people.
Yeah.
And I really like that. I would never want to lose that.
No.
I do also, I do think there is a place for influencers. Like, it's the same way when you watch TV, it doesn't all have to be educational, or, you know, you can just watch
just for fun,
random TV just for fun. I do think like that's, like, content creators and influencers are useful for that. It doesn't have to be like they're literally changing the world with what they're saying. But I think it's important to break down the things that like make it fake and that people will fall for and not realise. Yeah,
I think I used to get jealous, honestly. Yeah, it was probably jealousy of the fact that they had all this time and they could travel the world for free and they had all these handbags, and it came from a sense of jealousy. And not to say that I wasn't disappointed, but I kind of was when influencing was becoming a full-time thing, and I thought, oh, I don't have all this stuff, so like how do they get that but I don't?
What do you mean disappointed? When you were like working in the restaurant?
No, I think when I started earning money through social media, even now, I still don't understand how people have that lifestyle. It just doesn't, the two don't add up for me, because being an influencer is not like that. And I know there's different levels and people have millions of followers and all of this stuff. I just don't understand how they have that much money and that much freedom.
Sometimes I wonder if they're in debt. Because,
True.
I mean...
They are. I've watched a lot of true crime. Not that this...
What?
I don't remember.
Keep talking.
I don't remember the story exactly. There was a murder with an influencer couple.
Ooh.
It's in America. There was this couple. The husband killed his mum for her life insurance policy, and they were both influencers. Both had these incredible lifestyles that they were promoting on social media. They were in so much debt that he had to. Well, didn't have to. I mean, he made the choice. It was his only
option, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. He made the choice to take out, I think he took out 3 life insurance policies on his mum, killed her a week later to try and pay off their debts to carry on living their crazy influencer life that everyone believed.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I think that's true.
Guys, the people you follow might be in debt and like planning to murder their mums.
Yeah.
That was a joke. That was a joke. I'm going to get actually sued by like every corporation ever.
No, but true. I mean, it's just
but hopefully not
real.
Let's hope that everyone's not planning to kill their mums.
No. You're getting a little bit nervous there.
What have I said?
No, but yeah, it's all not real. And also, I've known people that have had these expensive handbags because they've been gifted by brands. Just wanted to get that out there. I know we've spoken about this, but I just remembered the fact that I've literally been told in real life that they do not own them. They have been gifted.
I have a Kate Spade bag, and I only have it because Kate Spade gave it to me.
There you go.
I've never posted about it. Sometimes I think we're bad at our jobs because brands send us things, and if we don't absolutely love it, we just don't post it. And
I do feel kind of bad, like guilty when a brand sent me stuff for free and I just don't post about it.
Yeah.
But also, we shouldn't feel obliged to. At the end of the day, they're sending it for free promo. And it's technically obviously not free because they're sending the product, but you have to think about the markup that they put on this product as well. So for them to send it to us, probably cost £10. If they were to sell it through their online shop, it would cost them £50.
Yeah.
So technically it is free for them to send us stuff. So
did you see me checking my sweat patches?
Yeah, I did a minute ago.
Do I have sweat patches?
No.
Because I'm like actually really warm.
It is hot up here.
Keeping it real.
I
was just going to say something which I don't know what my aim of saying this is, but I think there are some people, and I know that I have had DMs or whatever before, and people are like, I hate that you post adverts, I hate that you put adverts on videos, I hate that you post affiliate links or whatever. And I would just like to say, this is so hard to say because influencing is not a difficult job. Like,
no, I know.
Being a content creator is the most privileged job. It's so flexible. There's so many perks. Like, let's be honest. Yeah. But neither of us would be able to put the content out that we put out, or do this podcast, or do anything if we didn't earn money. And the ways that we earn money are actually very genuine ways. So I always get upset when people are like, why are you posting an ad? Because even like when we worked with Bird and Blend, oh my god, you should have seen the excitement when we found out we were working with Bird and Blend. Like both of us were like screaming because we genuinely a brand that we absolutely adore, and it means that we will be able to continue doing the podcast because it's expensive, like the microphones, the camera, the travel, the time.
We spend this week, we're spending 3 full days pretty much just filming. We couldn't do that if we worked. I mean, technically it is work. It doesn't feel like work, which is amazing, but
I sorry, I just remembered, like, this was a few years ago, and I think I blocked the person because they were sending kind of mean DMs afterwards, but I remember at one point having this message from this person that was like, why haven't you posted a YouTube video this week? Like, I need it. And the one below it was like, for God's sake, why are you trying to make money from your platform, sort of thing? Because I must have posted like a link on my story or something, which would have been like an affiliate one, which you always say that it's an affiliate so they'd know. But it was the fact that this person had been like, I need what you're putting out, or like what you're putting out helps me, and then they're like, for God's sake, why do you make money off this? I remember that really like got to me in the moment, because I was like, I actually put hours and hours of work into what I'm doing because I want to help people, and I would not be able to do any of that. Guys, we're gonna have to go because we need to plug the camera in, and then we'll come back and answer your questions. But yeah, this person saying that like what I did was really helpful and that they really liked what I was putting out, but then was so upset that I had to make money off it for it to be a sustainable thing for me to do. Like, I remember, like, I understand that what I do won't be the most important thing in the world to everyone, but if people want to enjoy what you're putting out, it's like when you watch TV, like sometimes you have to watch adverts.
Yeah, because they can't make the TV show if they didn't have money to make the TV show. Yeah,
and that is the really difficult thing.
Yeah, it's just hard at the end of the day. It just, I get it from a consumer point of view where it feels like you're being sold to.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But at the same time, you wouldn't have any content to consume at all if they didn't make money at the end of the day. It just is what it is.
That just is what it is. I just wanted to say that because I do know some people just don't get it. And like, I get it. I used to be like,
I don't want to buy this thing.
Yeah, or you're just propping your camera up, filming a video and posting it. Like,
but then you don't have to watch it as well if it's an ad. Like, you can just scroll past. It's free will.
Yeah, but then at the same time, if you don't support the creator you're watching,
true,
they're not gonna get ads, and then they won't be able to do it full time. Like, it's a whole thing.
Yeah,
there's just so many sides to it. But anyways, the camera's about to die. We're gonna come back and answer your questions in 2 seconds.
Welcome back. It's like we're starting a new episode there. We've just had to let the camera charge up a little bit. I think we got really passionate about the topic. Sorry. Clearly didn't listen to our last episode. It's fine.
Was I even there?
I actually have one more thing I want to talk about before we jump into the questions, and that is the fact that I speak for myself, probably for you as well. Don't want to put words in your mouth, but we've spoken about this before anyway. We feel that influencing has made this unattainable standard of life. It's made going out for coffees every single day, going for lunch, going to events, going shopping, going on holiday seem normal and exciting, so much so that our lives now feel boring. I'm not calling you boring, because you're not boring.
I think your life's really boring, actually.
I don't want to live it.
You're boring.
That's the thing, because I would never say that you're a boring person, but then I say I'm a boring person, and I feel like I've got nothing to post about because I just always feel boring, because I live the same day every day. I wake up and do the same thing. Tell me.
But why do those influencers have things to post about?
Because they're doing things for money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, when you follow people on Snapchat who are like, guys, today I don't actually follow anyone on Snapchat.
No, I don't even have Snapchat.
But I have seen people on Snapchat because Snapchat is apparently coming back.
No.
Will it? Probably not. But people are like, guys, today we're flying to the X, Y, and Z place. They're literally using the money that they make from that to put back into their content.
And they'll make money from doing that thing.
Yeah, it's like a business.
Yeah. Like, I know so many girls that go out to coffee shops and for lunches just to take pictures of their outfits, to link the clothes.
That's a lot of effort.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do that. I actually could not do that. I actually hate getting my picture taken. Every time my boyfriend takes a picture of me, I'm like, I don't want to look at it till I'm home, because it'll just ruin my mood if I don't like it.
Also, a tangent. We were recently having a conversation about how when we do certain parts of this job, we literally cannot be bothered. Like, there is no energy, there is no motivation there. Say, like, going to an event which you know is not really gonna do anything apart from, like, you're meant to post about this brand, and like you might have a nice time depending on who you go with, but a lot of the time it's going to cost you money and time, and you're going to go, and it's just this whole thing where you're meant to like build a relationship with a brand by going to an event or whatever.
But then there's 1,000 people in the room, so you can't actually talk to anyone, and you just end up leaving after 10 minutes.
And you just feel really anxious, and it's and there's things like that where it's like every single time we just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But we will get up at the crack of dawn to film this podcast because this is what we actually care about. Or
True.
like if we know that something we're going to do is going to really help people,
then we'll do it.
We will happily do it.
Yeah.
And we had that realization recently. It was like, why do we always feel like this before events? And then we were like, it's because it doesn't actually motivate us. We're not, that it doesn't excite us. We're not passionate about it.
Yeah, most of the time it just honestly feels fake. If any brand watches this, they'll probably not want to invite us to anything ever again. But also we're keeping it real. Like, it just isn't for me at the end of the day. Sometimes it's nice. If it's a brand I love, like I went on a trip with Lululemon, absolutely love Lululemon. I'm so happy to do that.
But also, both of us would much rather get like blacklisted by brands than work with someone we didn't believe in.
Exactly.
So we've kind of chosen that route.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
It might come back to bite us, but...
Yeah, we're not boring just because we live average lives. We are truthful. A lot of influencers are truthful, but we've got you guys.
There are a lot that are genuinely doing great things.
Yeah, and this isn't aimed at anyone, again.
No.
Just from personal experience.
I don't follow anyone that I don't like.
Yeah, true.
Because if they make me feel negative things, I just unfollow them.
Yeah, no, that's a good tip.
Yeah.
That's a very good tip.
This definitely isn't aimed at anyone. This is more of the culture.
Yeah. And just approach any content that you look at with a new lens, through the lens of, is this actually real? Maybe not.
It's a big industry. Well, find the people that you can trust and the people that...
Yeah. And always do secondary research before you buy something that influencer promotes. Maybe get like an unbiased opinion from somewhere.
Yeah, that's another thing that Jaycie was saying. Influencers always are like, guys, this is literally the best thing in the whole entire world and you need it.
The word need, like you need this.
It's TikTok shop constantly.
I'm quite guilty for watching like haul videos on YouTube from like B&M and Home Bargains, and there's one girl that I always watch because it is literally my guilty pleasure, but every video she's like, no guys, you need this, please run to the shops right now, it's going to be sold out, you need this in your life. And it'll be like a diffuser.
Don't walk.
It'll be like a candle, and I'm like, oh, that's really going to change my life.
No, that's actually life-changing. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I needed to know.
I'm getting the ads all the time for the like TikTok shop Vinted bags. And it's like,
I get that.
Guys, I literally got my Vinted package in a Monster Munch packet. Can you believe it? I'm like, first of all, that didn't happen.
No.
Second of all, I don't need your plastic bags.
Yeah.
Like the whole point of Vinted
is to reuse and recycle.
Yeah. Like I don't need to be buying your but also it's so obvious. Someone has made a massive mistake. Someone is going to get in big trouble.
But it is price drop. Guys, don't tell the boss.
Nobody tell anyone, but there's actually £800 off this. Can you believe it?
And it's a product that literally was never that price before. That actually makes me chuckle when it's like, this top was originally £500. It's now £1.
I'm like, your Team U quality top.
Yeah.
We're now going to do What's on Your Mind?
Yep.
Which I feel like we haven't done in a while for some reason.
I feel like we just natter on so much that we sometimes don't have time.
Yeah, or we've answered every question that you could possibly ask.
True.
My first question.
Yeah.
This is not my question. Somebody asked this on the Comfort Zone account.
Yeah.
When do influencers stop working and become a full-time influencer? Enough income, ...
Okay, interesting. I have a lot to unpack on this, I feel. Personally, I'm just going to give my whole work background so it actually makes sense with some context. So I did social media management for 2 years. I officially stopped it in November last year. I did quote-unquote influencing alongside social media management for that whole time. I think I started influencing, just posted on Instagram before I even started social media management. So yeah, and the whole reason I stopped social media management was because I ran out of time to do social media, and at that point I had to choose, do I want to honestly build a sustainable business and have a long-term income with social media management, or do I want to follow my dream and my passion with social media? And it got to the point where I was making a similar income from each. Honestly, Instagram is so unreliable. And I'm going to get into this, if I solely did Instagram, I would not be able to live, is what it is. So at that point, I was like, right, I've got some savings. I'm going to try and pursue Instagram full time. Hopefully I can turn it into something where I can fully rely on it and I don't have to do social media management anymore. So I quit, and I shared this on my Instagram, and I said very openly, I have quit my real quote unquote job. My real quote unquote life might look a little bit different. It might look like I've got loads of free time. It might look like I'm living my best life. That is just what it is. Like, that's the life of an influencer. But I did that for like a month and it was unsustainable. And like, I wanted to give it a go and fall back on my savings and hope that it would all work out, but realistically it didn't, or even if it was going to, I didn't feel comfortable giving it the chance. So I went full-time for a month, and then I've started another business, what would you call it, a small business with my boyfriend, which I don't talk about on social media because I don't want to through personal choice. I don't know why. Maybe I will at some point. I did say in my vlog that I'd got another job. It's not like a job where I'm employed, it's self-employed, but that takes up a lot of my time now because Instagram was not sustainable, and it has annoyed me because at the end of the day I have 500,000 followers, and I don't like to call them followers because you're my community, it's not about numbers, but I'd see there's people with like 20k followers that earn more money and call it their full-time jobs, and that's amazing. But I did get quite frustrated that I have worked so hard to build this community and I cannot live off of it. So
I think people think that being an influencer is like a quick, easy money move,
and it's not.
It's really not. And also a lot of the time I feel like the people who fall into it, because we both get asked a lot, like, oh, how do you build a platform?
We never went into this wanting for it to be a job.
That was never the intention. Like, I literally started posting videos about my eating disorder recovery because I wanted to help people and hold myself accountable.
Exactly.
I had no idea that I was going to end up getting followers and that people were going to find it so helpful that I would actually want to continue it. But I think people, I don't know, I guess probably because of the YouTubers we grew up with, it's become this thing of like, I'll become a YouTuber when I'm older. I remember when my mum was teaching and she would be like, oh, the kids at school are telling me they want to be a YouTuber. Like, that's most people's dream job would be like an influencer or a YouTuber when they're like 5 or 6. And I think people just think that it's going to be really quick and easy sort of money making. But if you want to do something that's actually meaningful to you, that doesn't always line up with what brands want to sponsor, and the brands that do want to sponsor you aren't brands you want to work with, so you don't work with them. Like, if you're going to take everything that comes your way and be solely posting brand friendly content, maybe you could do it, but
also it's going to expire if you're constantly accepting everything and being brand friendly, because there'll be nothing different about you. It sounds quite harsh, but
no, but it's also just not authentic. The reason that me and you love what we do is because we're actually authentic to what we believe and what we want to post about. We're not posting for brands.
Exactly. Like there's two sides to it. I've seen people that want to be influencers and put in the work and go through all of their videos and what worked and what didn't, and go through comments and feedback, and like, if it's truly your passion and content creation is your passion, then that's amazing, and you can turn it into a job if you really do work hard enough. But also, if you set out to be a content creator / influencer and you just think it's going to happen overnight and you post 5 videos and you're like, why is this not working? Maybe you need to look deep down and think, why am I actually doing this? Am I doing this for a good reason, or am I doing this just to get this attainable lifestyle? Well, might not really be real.
And there's two things with that. It's like, first of all, it's not going to be sustainable for you long term if you're not doing it for a genuine reason.
Because you will hate it at some point.
You will learn to not like it. If you're not doing something you actually care about. But also, you cannot rely on an algorithm. Like, if all your money and your success or whatever is coming from literally an algorithm, it's just not sustainable.
No matter how much work you put in, sometimes it literally isn't your fault. You could put out the best video ever made. If the algorithm doesn't like it, then you're screwed.
To be honest, the algorithm doesn't seem to favour the high quality content. Like, when I see people it's like the production quality is insane and everything's HD and proper, like, shot on a really good camera, proper microphones, that content never performs as well as when someone's literally just rolled out of bed, propped their phone up and is just chatting like random stuff.
I guess that proves again that people just want real stuff, real relatable stuff.
But it also is just like, there is no like formula. It's chance.
Sometimes the most random stuff just works. But I guess to sum up that question, you're ready when you can live off of it, I guess. Like, if you're earning the same amount as your full-time job, then great. But don't do it if you've only earned the same amount for a month, because next month you might earn nothing. Like, that's just how it is. Yeah. Scary.
It's not a very reliable thing.
Does having an audience ever make you feel self-conscious? How do you deal with that?
That is a very interesting question. 2 things.
Yep.
Yes, but also it has also built my confidence massively. So
interesting.
Although it makes me feel self-conscious, it's also been quite an empowering thing.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that feeling like you're being watched by thousands of people, because you are being watched by thousands of people, but feeling like they are seeing every small part of your life that changes, and think if you are someone that worries about what other people think about you, it is it is hard. I think it does force you to not care about what people think about you.
Yeah, I think that's how I kind of see it. I actually don't care what anyone else thinks. Like, I just don't. Obviously, I care, like, if it upsets someone, I wouldn't do that on purpose, but
also, you never know what is going to upset some people. So you might post a video that to 1,000 people is super helpful.
Yeah.
2 of them are really upset by it. That's the thing that would upset me.
True.
The 2 people I've upset, like, those worries always outweigh the positives. Only for a short time until you talk yourself out of it.
Yeah.
But to start with, like, if say I'd posted something about eating disorders and, like, most people had said to me, like, this is really helpful, this really changed my perspective, whatever. If 2 people were like, I found this triggering, I'd be like, oh my God, that was awful.
Yeah.
And I'm really upset, even if I know it helped so many people. So it is scary in that way, like, not knowing how what you put out is going to be received and going based off what you think is honestly going to be helpful. And also, I think, because I went through a weight gain journey online, and I've never really spoken about it before, but sometimes I do think, like, I don't know how I
did that.
And I mean, it is the reason that I came off TikTok, was because I was getting comments from trolls, people being like, you look like a skeleton, or well done, you look so, like, healthy, when I was still really unwell, knowing that it would trigger me. And I think sometimes I just think, like, oh my gosh, how did I cope knowing that everyone was going to be watching? And, you know, as much as I would like to think, like, things aren't about my body, as soon as someone knows you have an eating disorder, they look at your body.
Yeah.
Like, that is how the internet works. Like, people have this outdated opinion of, oh, anorexia equals skinny. And then I do think there probably was a bit of me that was like, oh my gosh. I guess that's sorry, I'm really, like, not making much sense here, but I guess that's why I moved away from creating eating disorder content as well, was because I had to free myself from that identity, because having so many people associate me with that, I'm sure there was a part of my brain that would have felt like it had to match that image and stay unwell. And I think that's probably why recovery accounts can be quite damaging sometimes, and that's why I don't consider myself a recovery account, because I don't want to be tied up to that identity, feeling like I have to stay in that for my content to work. Yeah, I do think it was hard to be watched by so many eyes, especially when my body was changing. Like, that's a really vulnerable time. But I don't know, you just kind of get used to it, don't you? You just kind of deal with it.
As hard as it is, it makes your skin thicker. Because you do deal with a lot of backlash some of the time. So you do get to the point where you just take it on the chin, is what it is. People have their opinions.
Not everyone's going to like you.
Exactly. And being self-conscious can also be a good thing, because it makes you quite aware of what you're doing and what you're posting, and makes you think about the repercussions of your actions. So sometimes it is a good thing. Yeah. Sometimes I won't post things because I know it can feed into other people's insecurities. I used to post a lot of content about my body and being comfortable with having rolls, for example, and stretch marks. I've kind of phased that out now because it just doesn't feel right anymore. I don't know, it feels weird it's the whole thing of saying that this is okay but then posting about it as being bad still. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's saying I have rolls and this is okay. Yeah, it's backhandedly saying, like, I'm still insecure about this, so I have to prove to my whole audience that it's okay for me to not be insecure, even though that's not how I feel. Like, I literally couldn't care less about what my body looks like. I just feel like that's how it comes across, so I've kind of phased that out now. But yeah, self-conscious in the fact of, like, I'm not self-conscious if I post spots. I'm not self-conscious if I post myself with messy hair. Like, I don't think about it. I don't think about the amount of people that are going to see it, which is quite nice.
Of course, you're going to be aware that you are being watched and somewhat scrutinised by a lot of people. Like, I just think there is no way that you can avoid that.
Yeah.
It's just being okay with that and being like, cool, if people don't like me, they don't like me. I'm not holding anyone at gunpoint to follow me.
Exactly.
Like, just unfollow me if you don't like me.
Exactly.
You just have to have a very, like, and what kind of mindset. Like, oh, I don't like this about you, and what?
Exactly.
Unfollow then.
This is a kind of not applicable, but there's another quote. This is actually really bad, but it's like, you have to piss off 80% of people to find your 20%.
I've never heard that.
Does that apply? I think it's 80%. It might be different ratios. No, but I don't know.
I was pissing off a lot of people on TikTok.
Yeah.
When I was posting about recovery.
Yeah.
People were like, oh, eating disorders aren't even real. Do you want a medal? No. Why are you crying over food?
But the 20%?
The 20% of people.
Yeah, that found your content and found peace in your content, and your content really helped those. It's those 20% of people that matter. Those 80% can scroll on and move on and do whatever they want with their lives.
Yeah.
You have found your people, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Fully agree.
So, are you self-conscious? yes and no.
Yes and no. I mean, to a normal amount, but I don't think I could do it every day if I was that self-conscious.
Yeah, I feel like it's in the opposite way that you would think. Like, if you say self-conscious, it's like, are you self-conscious posting your sports? Are you self-conscious posting you in your pajamas? Like, no, that's not the stuff that we're self-conscious about. The stuff we're self-conscious about is the opposite to what we, quote unquote, would normally be in day-to-day life. And it's just conscious of the fact of upsetting other people, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think to summarise, we are both still learning.
Oh, yeah.
Still growing. I'm sure we will do things and post things and say things that we will regret in the future. And I'm sure there are things we've posted, said, done that we wouldn't do anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everyone has things like that. It's just keeping an open mind, isn't it?
Yeah.
Being open to change, being adaptable.
Agreed.
Yeah. Taking on constructive criticism. If someone says that something's unhelpful and that seems to resonate with everyone else, then take that on board.
Yeah. Won't do it again.
Yeah.
Simple. Yeah, you just can't get so upset about it that you just never post again.
We really hope you enjoyed this episode.
I feel like we could probably do a part 2 at some point.
Oh, for sure, because there's definitely more we can say. And more will happen. There'll be more influencer scandals, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
They're endless, honestly.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We
will see you next Sunday.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you. And we love you. And we hope you have an amazing week. And we still haven't actually picked a name for you.
Oh, yeah. I thought I was predicting that you were going to say comment your wins and wobbles down below.
Oh, true.
That's why I was doing that.
Do that as well.
Yeah.
But also, we haven't chosen a name, so we're still pondering on that.
I don't know how serious we actually were about wanting a name.
No, true. We that was kind of a joke, but people kind of suggested names in the comments.
I nearly cut out, when I was editing, me saying, like, suggest a fan club name, because I was like, oh, that's so cringy. And then I thought, like, the whole point was that we weren't cutting stuff out, so I left it in. And then I was like, oh, people actually think that we deserve a fan
No, we don't.
club.
We don't. We just wanted to address the audience and listeners and viewers as people, because you're our besties here.
Yeah, we'll just call you besties.
Call you besties. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Besties.
Besties. Comment below.
Love you, besties.
Bye.
Bye.